So I'm 2 for 2. I am on time and getting everything shared where I need to be sharing it. So the next few topics here, Yoga Tree Consulting, the video for this will be posted there. It's running there right now, as well as in the group, Yoga Trainers Tribe. And I haven't reminded people in a while, if you want to join Yoga Trainers Tribe, there's a link at the very top of the Yoga Tree Consulting Facebook page. And really the benefit of that is as you ask questions, new topics come up, that's where I'll be having the discussion. So if you have questions, go ahead and join the group and I'll answer your questions there. So I wanted to get back to a continuation of some tools for yoga teacher training. I talked a little bit about journaling in yoga teacher training a few weeks ago, but I wanted to touch on that subject again. One, because as I mentioned in the preview for this event, that I have an announcement to make about that. And so I'm going to go through that. Just over the course of the last couple weeks, I have published on Amazon and on my website a journal for trainers to use during yoga teacher training as a guide for guided journaling in yoga teacher training. So I'm going to explain a little bit about that. So these journals that I've created are, as I mentioned, on Amazon. You can buy them designed, bound. I'll have my own very first copy in a couple days, and I'll post pictures of those so you can see what they look like in real life. But I've created both a trainer's version and a student's version. I get such good feedback from my students on the time we spend in guided journaling and yoga teacher training that I wanted to make that more available, give you some more insight about that specific activity. And over the next couple months, there will be more coming. I'm going to be creating these same types of journals, resource books, really, for some different aspects of yoga teacher training. So if you haven't started a teacher training, you can check these out and kind of get an idea of what the full package will be, you know, sort of the voice of it. If you've already got a yoga teacher training, but you're needing some resources, some support, I know there's a ton of work that goes into preparing for a teacher training session. I'm working on mine right now, so I know there's a ton of work that goes into that. So sometimes we just need a few extra resources that are kind of already done for us. So you can do that as, you know, you can use these for that as well. So what is guided journaling? So in my yoga teacher training, and as I mentioned, I get really good feedback on this, so I feel like it's an important thing and might be a good tool for you as well. Guided journaling is when we're going through our materials and we take some time aside to journal about a specific topic. And that topic is one that I provide to the students. The topic is always related to what we're talking about that weekend or that month in training. So sometimes there's more than one guided journal quote or topic on a yoga teacher training topic. Lots of repetition there, but so we set aside time to do guided journaling throughout yoga teacher training, and I give them the topic. So if you've already purchased the materials, you will see in your materials that I have some guided journaling topics included in there. Some of the student manual, it also has blank journaling pages for your students to journal right in their yoga teacher training workbook. So what I've done is sort of expanded that idea out. The journal, the guided journal that I've just published is 100 topics, 100 guided journal topics for yoga teacher training. The idea being that, yeah, you're not going to probably journal 100 times in yoga teacher training, but these topics are categorized by the various yoga teacher training big topics. If you're part of the Yoga Alliance, or if you're looking to be, they've got 5 big topics to cover, and then of course topics, subtopics within those. So they're broken out in these different categories: anatomy, meditation, mudras, different topics within, and So I've got 100 of those. These are quotes from traditional teachers like Iyengar. They are inspirations is what I call them, topics that I've created based on my experience in running my yoga teacher training, and other references from other books that I've used in my yoga teacher training. Some tidbits, there's some things from the sutras in there, like I said, anatomy, chakras. So there's a whole bunch of different journaling topics. The idea being that I've given you 100 of those. You can pick and choose, out of each of those categories. If you're going to have 3 journaling sessions during your anatomy portion of training, you've got some things to pick from that you don't have to think about, you don't have to research, they're already there. There's also in the trainer's journal some blank pages. So if you order this from Amazon, you will see a bunch of blank pages after the 100 topics for you to add your own. I know as yoga teachers, we tend to do a lot of reading, we pull from a lot of sources, so I wanted to give you obviously some space in there to create your own topics. Maybe you've already got some that you'd like to keep together with your yoga teacher training materials, and so this gives you the opportunity to do that. The other half of the equation is the student journal. So again, in my yoga teacher training, I include pages in the workbook, but this is a separate journal for the students. Really not much formatting other than the cover of both of these match. There's no branding, my logo isn't on it, Yoga Tree Consulting isn't on it. So just like the full materials, there's none of my branding on it, but it is designed so that it looks like a nice journal. Those covers match. The images on the front match, the font, yoga teacher training matches. There's a place to put a date or a name, what have you, so you have some options there. But the student's journal has just some space at the top for them to note the topic, the date, and what yoga teacher training, what the larger topic is that the journaling is about. There are also some extra pages in that journal if your trainees like to take notes, or perhaps they want to continue journaling after they leave training. There's space for them to do that in that journal. So there's 2 versions. There's a trainer's, which has got all of the topics, and then the student's journal, which is essentially a blank journal. So those are out on Amazon right now, very inexpensive. The idea would be that you purchase the trainer's manual, trainer's guide once, and you can use that over and over and over. If you decide to purchase the student journals, those are very inexpensive as well on Amazon, and you could purchase those for each of your trainees as they come through training. So that's the idea with those. To support those, I've also just released a course on running the guided journaling at your yoga teacher training. Again, very inexpensive resource. It's a quick course, and it basically walks through some different times you might journal and some creative options of when you might otherwise use guided journaling at your studio or in your yoga business in general. There's 2 versions of the course. There's the basic version, and then there's the version where I have included the editable file of all the journal topics that I created. All 100 journal topics are in there in an editable format. What that means to you is, like the bigger yoga teacher training package, you could go in, and if you've got your own topics that you would like to add to the journal, you can do that right in the document, the soft copy of the document, and then print it off on your own if you choose, and if you prefer that method of using the tools. So lots of things, new things out there. My goal with Yoga Tree Consulting is always to provide ways to help your training thrive. And as I talk with more trainers, I get different questions. It felt like it was would be a positive thing for you all to have this piece broken out. And as I mentioned, I will be doing more of these sort of activity kind of workbooks. So the next one that I plan to offer is a sequencing. workbook. This material, again, is included in the full package, but some of you out here on Yoga Trainers Tribe, Yoga Tree Consulting, already have yoga teacher trainings, and it seems like, based on who I'm talking to, that some of these tools would be helpful for you in smaller chunks, because you're already down the road with your own yoga teacher training. So that's my goal: help you thrive, help making your planning easier, more straightforward. Sometimes you just need a jog in the memory banks for ideas and new inspiration, and so I'm hoping that these things provide that for you. So I will be posting, I know sometimes it's easier to see things, I'll be posting a link to the published journals on Amazon, so you'll see those Amazon links in the comments of this video here today. I'll post those so you can see what that looks like, see a little bit bigger description. I think it even gives you a sample so you can kind of see what the format looks like. And then I'll also post a link to the courses, again, so that you can kind of read and see what those are about, and feel free to reach out with any questions. All right, that's what I have for today. This is Julie Chavanaugh with Yoga Tree Consulting, and welcome to Yoga Trainers Tribe. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, post in the groups, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Take care. Bye-bye.